And Chris goes sideways.
Hold on, I got it.
Mm-hmm. Happened last
Got it.
week. Yep. No problem. Hello, everyone, and welcome to TK's Knives and Nonsense. Hopefully, you're enjoying some chat in here. Already gotten quite a number of people in chat saying some stuff. But we've got two great guests today. We've got Chris again this week. How you doing, Chris?
Doing good about yourself.
I'm doing all right. Just ready to get this program rolling. And we've got our wonderful case lover. Got his hat on even. I mean, he's got his big
It,
case home. You'll see.
it's backwards. It's a backwards case hat.
Mm. All right, let me flip you around.
Oh, you can do that.
Oh yeah, there we
There he
go.
goes.
How's that?
I'm
Andrew from Baxter's Place. How you doing, Andrew?
doing okay.
Well, we're going to talk case knives today. Talking just a little bit backstage about that. We're going to kind of go over some things that could be improved upon, possibly. Maybe just kind of talk about the state of where they're at right now, and no judgment, just trying to just state facts, right? We're not here to bash on them. We want them to improve, and maybe pointing out some of their deficiencies right now would be, something positive for the long term. So that's the whole hope for tonight. But Chris is just on for pretty much commentary tonight. He has all of three case knives, and I think he is only able to find two of them
Yeah,
right
pretty
now.
much.
So he's not going to be showing a bunch. I've got a few out, but really I think the more prevalent thing for tonight is going to be just kind of discussing some different things and our experiences with them, and maybe sharing our experiences with what we've dealt with, and more of a commentary than a knife display, if that makes sense for you guys. So that's kind of where we're at with this tonight. I hope everybody's doing well in the chat. Let me see what we've got here. We've got 11 people in chat. All right. And this new program's still trying to lift off. We're still kind of trying to get our feet underneath us. But we had Bob's Pocket Knives earlier. We've, of course, got Chris in here, myself, James Stork, Angelo, Splitting Slices. Byron, how you doing, buddy? It says, howdy, DK, Blade Lord. Bob's, Angelo, Marco, and Ali is coming in. So, Fictional Iceland, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you in here. We have Splitting Slices saying, hi, Fictional Iceland. Ice has green, green has ice. How I keep it straight, so to speak. All right. Whatever it takes, man. We also have Stacy's Bolster's Blades just showed up. So, hello, Stacy. And Dave Johnsy. So welcome to everybody coming in. Hopefully we'll have a number more people come in as we go along here tonight. Technical difficulties abound. But we fought through it, and now we're here, and everybody can see each other. And you're able to see Chris now, Blades? Baxter?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're good. So we got you reversed. Is your screen reversed on your end, or is it actually?
It's going to be really confusing showing knife. Let me do a test here. Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay.
No problem.
Don't worry.
Wherever the eye is, just put your hand towards the eye. Right?
Well, there you go.
That's how you do it. But some recent case knives that just came out. I'm going to kick this one off. A little bit of a disappointment for me. I know the Sodbusters have been kind of dark for the Honeycomb series. You'd mentioned that in one of your videos, didn't you, Andrew? And
yes.
Where were you getting that information? What were you kind of compiling your thoughts on that?
This guy named Eric has a channel. It's called The Pile Side, and he shows case knives. He's not a really big channel. He may have started from watching me. But I found out he works at a case dealership. And so I thought it was interesting. And he showed me the new honeycomb bones that he got, which was about the Sodbuster, the mini copper lock. and another one I can't remember, and they were really, really brown. And I kind of panicked because I saw them at Blade Show Texas in the case, and they looked really nice. So I had ordered a full-size trapper here to check it out first. Well, when the paintbrush series dropped, they sold out like mad, and this is another kind of limited spring release. They only have so many. So I thought, well, I'm going to order 3 more patterns in this honeycomb. And this one turned out all right. The backside's a little dark, not really as brown as some of the Sodbusters that he showed. So I kind of panicked because I ordered 3, and lucky me, all 3 turned out really good, color-wise. Not as dark, but I did not order a Sodbuster Jr.
Okay. Well,
Now, the fit and finish on those is not quite as good as my paintbrush trapper. This thing is perfect. And I thought, wow, Case is turning it around. I got a sharp point, excellent blade grind, 0 gaps, centered blades. They must have had the good crew working on it. And so that's why I ordered 3 more of these, and they turned out pretty decent. I have a small issue with my mini copper lock, which the color actually turned out pretty decent. You got some actual honey in there. It's not just brown. But I'll discuss that later.
okay, so honeycomb sodbuster. Can you guys see the screen there? Can you see what? Okay. Just making sure everybody can see the image there. Now that's got some nice natural dark and I guess amberish, yellowish color to it. Looks like honey, right?
Yeah.
You know, whenever you got honey and you leave it in the cupboard and it's been there for like 6 years and you don't use it that much. You go back and you look for it and it's about a layer of this, about this much on the bottom of the bottle and it's black, brown. That's the kind of honey I get.
Yeah, looks like my brown bone.
It looks more like, yeah.
What about the bottom? Does the bottom have any honey? Like if you flip barely a little bit right there?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, at the top too, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, kind of like these when they first came out, looked like muddy swamps. This is the
Yeah,
one
now when we were at Texas Blade Show, you recall there was quite a number of them that varied to the negative side. Like there was some that were like, what would we call that, Sunset Valley Bone series, that were pretty much just all orange, and then you'd flip it over and it was really different. I mean, drastically different. So some inconsistency there, but I actually found a really good one. So I was fortunate whenever I picked up my, let me see if I can find it here.
It was good that we could pick them up in person.
Yeah, it was. No, that's not the right one. Where did it go? There it is. So yeah, I mean, but you had some really consistent coloring on both sides of that one. But when you showed yours, you see the middle there. Like, show that one again.
Yeah, the trapper.
It was all like the left edge there, you know.
This one turned out really nice, but I picked it out in person. But I was scared of ordering one because of what my Barlow. My Barlow was a little muddy here. The pile side was nice. I ordered this one online, and I got the clip point blade was completely off, which is unfortunate. Which is, I mean, and all the Barlows I've gotten from them have been fantastic. But I took a chance and ordered this one also online, and the bone turned out really nice. And these, Slippy and I were opening and closing at Blade Show, and they weren't closing. They were going, and they were getting hung up halfway. And we're looking at each other like, what is going on? These are what they're displaying. But I lucked out with this one. The blade is off center. But other than that, it's really nice. So I got lucky ordering that one online.
Yeah, it's just It's a roll of the dice. It's a real roll of the dice. And the thing that's disappointing about this particular one is just was ordered for Mikey, right? And I just have no, I have no control over getting a good one. I can't.
I have yet to see a light colored sodbuster in the honeycomb. Only the one I saw maybe at Blade Show Texas in the display case. Everyone I've seen has been like that.
Well, there's one other one you saw that was like that.
Eric.
No.
And
this one right here in the image. That's my point. Don't show it like that if you can't deliver it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there it is. Whatever. I'm just going to keep the mystery.
Also seeing the green apple bone that recently came out. The pictures showed them really nice and bright, and then I started seeing people get them, and they were a really dark green. Now, I don't know if the bone lightens up over time, maybe.
Yeah.
And you might be able to scrub it with some warm, soapy water, and that might lighten it up. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a fast food knife manufacturer showing you the hamburger that you're going to get, and then you get the hamburger, and it's nothing like it.
That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. The case is kind of turning into the fast food knife maker, making so many and pumping out so many. Like, hey, look how beautiful this is, and then you get it, and you're like, wah, wah. Is that a Kentucky bluegrass, or is that that's a Kentucky bluegrass, it looks like.
It is.
That's pretty true, though. You got some blue in there?
A little bit. But it's just looking, I mean, look how much difference there is on the edges.
Yeah.
It's almost too much because it's such a dark color, you know?
Yeah, and Saudis can be like that because the jigging goes all the way to the edge. There's no hafting before the bolsters. And I've noticed that with my Navy bone is almost black. My Mediterranean bone is almost black also. There's barely any color in them.
Yeah. Stacy says she stopped eating fast food a long time ago. That's good.
Good for you, Stacy.
It's not good for you. It's horrible for you. I don't want case knives to be a fast food. So there you go.
Right.
All right, Chris, you got some positive things to say about case?
Me? Hell no.
All right, well, let's hear what you got to say.
No, I mean, that's the thing with case. All of us want to see them pretty much be the American icon they are in the knife world.
Mm.
But they're not. And that makes me a little angry. Because they could be, but they're not. I guess, let's see, the last 2 case knives I ordered, I'm 1-1. And I got my 75, which is, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. More than good enough. I'm good. I'm happy with it. So I got that. But then, another one I was really excited about, which was a DOT exclusive. It was the single-bladed trapper with the warning. Well, if I could. Yeah. I was excited about this knife. But I don't know if I'll be able to show it. It's got some pretty serious blade play in there. And let's see. I don't know if I can get the gaps or not. It's kind of hard to see.
The
top,
I can see them. You can see the top. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's pretty bad. And then when you close it, I mean, it's all the way to that side.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's bad. So, definitely shows their lack of quality control at certain times. So,
now tell us the specifics about that particular knife.
Oh, I mean, like it's a DOT exclusive. I already said that. I think the blade steel was supposed to be 1095.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, single blade trapper. The warning.
Well, I was just saying, like you were saying, you were so excited to get it. It was such a disappointment. I mean, that's the kind of thing that kind of you don't forget when that happens, you know.
No,
It's
you don't, because it stings more.
hmm
It definitely, it's like, man, you just get so excited and you get it and you open it up with the excitement and then you pull it out and look at it and it's like, oh, well, there's some major gaps on the back. There's even gaps between the liner and the cover material. The inlay for the shield isn't that great. I mean, I can catch my finger easily on that shield, my
hmm
fingernail. I mean, and it was sharp. I will give Case credit. It was sharp. Store still is sharp because I haven't used it. So it was sharp. But like I said, everything else just fell short. So
yeah.
send it back, see how their customer service treats me.
Yeah,
How
definitely
many?
try it out. I've
How
had
many?
really good luck with them. Um, you fill out their form online, and then they'll get back to you. The first time it took about a week for them to get back to me. The second time they got back to me the next day. They'll send you a self-address stamped, kind of a cardboardy mailing pouch to send it in, and
Yeah.
then they'll acknowledge you when they receive it. And the last one I sent, I actually marked the box so I can see if they just swapped it out or if they actually are going to repair it. And
Yeah.
that's a trapper with both blades were on the liner. And I'm just not going to keep them anymore. And I'll exchange them. You know, I used to just kind of get a hold of the dealer I got it from and be like, hey, can we exchange this? A lot of times they're out of stock and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Especially with like sea dragons, you can't do that. You have to send them off to Case. But I had a really good, they did a really good job on my first one. I'm going to wait to see my second one. And, if that turns out good, maybe I'll send this honeycomb back to him. The clip point's really close to the liner. It's not rubbing, but the spay blade already has rub.
Yeah.
And, this might be a user. I might not care so much, but some of them are pricey pieces. Like that knife you got is well over $70 after tax and shipping for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was worried about this because this was a pretty pricey one, the paintbrush, but luckily this one turned out actually perfect. And I guess I got a good one, and someone's going to get a bad one.
Looks like Fictional's got one in return right now as well. So fingers crossed it comes back fixed. Well, I hope you luck on that. I have not actually gone through the case process. I've always just gone back through the dealer the one time that I sent anything back. I've been probably more picky with Rough Riders just because I know it's going to be hassle free. It's pretty easy
Yes.
to call Smoky Mountain and say, hey, this isn't right. And they take care of you really, really good. With the case thing, you've got to send it back and you got to get through all the hassle of returning it and waiting. And sometimes I just don't have the patience for it.
Did you get one of these, TK? The Razor Trapper, the Tuxedo?
Oh.
The Rough Rider Tuxedo Trapper. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Razor Trapper. So
Yeah,
I ordered this.
I saw the series. I didn't actually order one.
I ordered the Barlow and I ordered this, and the Barlow turned out perfect. They're like $18. And this one, really nice. They have their titanium coated blades, white micarta, but I don't know if you can see there's a little tiny crack under that pin. So I reached out to Smoky Mountain and said, hey, I got this crack here. I can send you pictures. They said, no problem. We'll just send you another one, or do you want a refund? I'm like, send me another one. They sent me another one, and it had the exact same crack under this back spring pin here. It's probably too blurry to see.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. So I reached out to them again, and they said, well, we'll send you a return label, and you can send them both back, and we can refund your money. And I realized, well, I got two really cool trappers for $18 with a small crack. So I gave one to a friend and just kept this one. But I generally don't even see that with Rough Rider. Rough Riders come very perfect for $18. Very sharp, pointy blades. So when you spend $80-something for a case knife, and you got huge gaps. And the burr on the blade is discouraging. We can all strop them and sharpen them up, but blade rub for an $80 knife. If that's how it's going to be, I'm going to stop buying them. You know, I got plenty of really nice case trappers and other case knives that are perfect, and they keep raising the prices. I'm not going to spend that for. But I generally still seek out discounts, and I can't remember what I got this for, maybe 10, 15% off. So it wasn't quite as bad.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is with some of these case collectors, they just have a massive collection. There are a lot of them who won't even buy the newer ones. You know, like Kalen is an example of that.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps I'll have Kalen on at some point if he'll come on with us. Ask him kind of what his take is on, you know, the newer stuff, because it seems to me like all the ones that I ever see him show, like in Discord and elsewhere, are always you know, from the 70s or, you know, older knives, and all in really nicely built. You can tell there's been a drop off since then, just in terms of the quality of the knife overall. We're not even speaking about gaps or, you know, issues you might have with the new ones, but just the overall fit and finish is a little better. Splitting Slicey says the other shoe drops for cases, the dealer exclusives. Almost always more money, limited quantities, gone before warranty process. And the dealers usually want me to send it to case.
Yep.
A lot of what you said last week, Chris, maybe just reiterate that. Your experience with like having talked to the guy that you knew at DLT, and what did he say?
Well, he told me that Case is more likely to listen to us, especially about like anything we don't like about that certain knife, than listen to them. They kind of don't, I guess, just tell their dealers this, hey, this is how it's going to be, this is how it is, so you just got to deal with it.
Yeah.
So they're more apt to listen to the end customer than the dealers, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You know,
I
especially
mean,
since the dealers are going to be the ones that, you know, hear a lot of customer feedback. Why wouldn't you listen to your dealers?
Right.
I'm wondering, and how does that burden the dealers? Like if somebody gets a bad knife and sends it back to the dealer, and the dealer exchanges it with a better knife, what do they do with those knives? Do they just have to eat that cost, or they end up sending them back to case and getting reimbursed? I'm wondering what goes on with that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a conversation I might have to ask and see what the answer to that is.
Kind of why I stopped. Like Shepherd Hill's has been great. I got a cracked bone trapper, and they sent me another one. I had a really bad off-center blade from Red Hill, and they sent me another one. But I'm kind of reluctant to do that every time because I don't want the burden to be on the dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of discouraging to hear when they seem disappointed. Well, I had an issue where they sent me the wrong one. I talked about this last week, so sorry for
Oh, yeah.
kind of
I remember
repeating the story. But essentially, I had ordered a lime green Barlow in the barn board jig, and I lovingly refer to that knife as Kermit. I'll show it to you here. It'll take me a minute to get hold of it. But anyway, the story of it was that I talked to Red Hill, and they said, "Oh, okay," and they sounded rather disgruntled with Case because it was, you know, it just seemed like it was another of many situations that they had to deal with. You know, without them saying it explicitly, you could kind of just tell that they were already kind of being beaten down by having to have another issue with the Case knives. And they probably could name many other brands that never had any issues at all, right? It's just like, oh, Case again. Kind of one of those situations. Where they're just sort of rolling their eyes because it's like anytime we get a customer complaint, guess what brand it is, you know? But that's the knife I'm talking about. Anyway, they sent the wrong one, and I sent it back, and then they got it right the second time around. But that's 3 times having to ship it, to and fro. So it's just it's not something you want to hear from the dealers, right? It's like they seem like they're kind of low on case, and they only put up with them because of the demand problem that they have. I think if they were another brand that they was like a lesser brand or a brand that wasn't nearly as popular, they probably would have stopped dealing with them.
Yeah.
Wouldn't. Just
Well,
that's
I,
a shame.
I know Red Hills. I can't remember who I heard it from, but Red Hills was saying that Case was telling them sell more knives, and they do pre-orders. But when they got the Indian paintbrush, finally got them. I pre-ordered mine like 2 months in advance. When they finally got them, they took them all off the website. And I'm wondering it's because they only fulfilled pre-orders and they didn't get any extra, because they're probably to the point where they'll sell them if somebody orders them, but they're not keeping so very many in stock. Now I know Red Hill is a smaller knife company, but it almost seems like they're backing up a bit. They only get like so many of a pattern or a color, and when they're gone, they're gone. You have to go to Shepherd Hills, and Shepherd. And I know Red Hill is a master dealer because I got a master dealer exclusive from them. But I noticed that when I started showing the video of these, people went to order them and they're just all gone from their website. And that's why I kind of panicked a bit with the honeycomb bone, because we have some discounts there. If you spend like over 100 or over 150, you get like 15% off. You spend over 200, you get 20% off. And I don't get those discounts from Smoky Mountain or Shepherd Hills. And so
Stacy says it seems like the non-knife people go back where they buy it and complain to them and don't realize it's the manufacturer. I would agree. Yeah. They probably don't know enough to care and just don't want to hassle with it, so they just go back to where they bought it.
Yep.
There's the question. You want to take this one, Andrew?
I can't read it. Who is it by? I can read it on my comment.
Jonathan of Pinblaze asks, how is Bear & Sons quality control?
Really good. And they've been doing a really good job with Queen. Like some of my Queen Barlows may have a minor gap, but other than that, I haven't had any issue. I know older Bear & Sons weren't quite as good, but my Bear & Sons have been almost perfect.
And have you had any experience with either secondhand, firsthand of anyone returning something to Bear & Son?
I know Rusty Miner has returned trappers to Bear & Son to have warranty work, and they fixed them up.
And he was satisfied with the results?
Yeah. I've never had to send anything. I was never so disappointed with a Bear & Son or Queen that I felt like, sending it back. But I guess Queen would be, I'd have to go through Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they've been really good at taking care of people. They own Rough Rider, and they do a great job at just sending you another knife or remedying any issues. So I'm sure if you had a problem with Queen, I think they say they have a lifetime warranty also. And like I said, the Queens I've gotten have been, blade centering's been better than Case, maybe a hairline gap, nothing really to fuss about or return a knife over.
Right. I've not had great experience with some of the Bear & Sons, but I would have to say that those were some of the ones I bought a couple of years ago. So I don't know if they were just kind of going through a COVID downturn or whatever. I don't have enough experience having bought enough of those to make any kind of a judgment on them. But I know from forums and things like that people have been disappointed in their kind of overall quality control for probably the last 6-8 years, I would say, at least. So maybe they're getting that turned around. I know that the 4-inch Barlows all seem to be pretty well done. So I don't know if like the new product introduction Because I believe that was a new item. They didn't previously sell that until like a year ago.
Yeah, they displayed them at SHOT Show the year before this last, and I was looking forward to those. I saw pictures, and those turned out really good because their building method is a lot like Rosecraft. They use a washer,
Right. Right.
and they say they're made in the USA. I have 2 of those. I had 3. I gifted one to Mo Kirby Creek. And even their traditional Barlows that I've gotten, I have the beer tender. That one turned out pretty decent, but that was kind of where it was just on the edge of where their bad quality was going into their good quality. And Smoky Mountain must have told them, you're going to have a higher standard for the queens, and because all the queens I've gotten have been pretty much perfect.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good reason for that.
Maybe a little lazy action into the half stop, but the newer Queen Barlow I got, they remedied that, so they're listening to what's going on out there.
How much of a markup is there from their standard knives to their Queen?
I think they're about the same. I cannot find Queen at Red Hill Cutlery. I pretty much can find them at Chicago and Smoky Mountain only. And I've gotten a lot of Barlows from Chicago Knife Works, and they're way cheaper than Smoky Mountain, but now you got to pay shipping. They're not giving away free shipping anymore. And so it's about a wash. It's about the same price, about $50 to $60 for a Barlow, maybe more if you want stag.
I've gone from buying from Chicago a lot until almost nothingness.
Yeah, I picked up a lot of my case knives there because it was last year. They were doing amazing sales. I was getting them for $45 to $50 a piece, and they have some sort of VIP 15% off now. But when they say the knife weighs 1.5 pounds, and they charge you accordingly with shipping, so you order 2 knives, and it's like $15, $20 shipping. It's like that's not right.
We should talk about that a bit. So Chicago Knife Works, they used to offer free shipping, don't anymore, right? Like even
over 100.
Over 100.
They used to be over 100. You could get
no limit now. Where doesn't matter what you spend, you got to pay shipping, right?
Yeah.
And
because we all did a bunch of videos that you could get like 15 Rough Rider knives.
Yeah.
There was one box free shipping.
So many knives I bought early on there when they were, much more affordable. But the main problem is they're lying about the weight. And the way you can prove it is you could take two different case knives. They're both bone. It could not be more than 1/100 of an ounce in difference in weight. And they'll say one is 1 pound or something, and then another one's like 9 ounces. Like, which is it?
Some are like 0.2 of a pound, and some are,
here's a box.
Yeah.
And here's a box of a different item that may come in. They weigh the same.
It's the same. They do it with Rough Rider also. I've noticed, like the non-popular Rough Riders.
Yeah, well, the thing with Rough Riders, they come packaged a little differently depending on what it is you buy. You get some with tins, you get some with the bigger box, some with the smaller box. So those can vary a little bit with weight, but not case.
Yeah. So I've noticed sometimes I'll just go to Smoky Mountain Knife Works, put in the same order as Chicago, and even with shipping and taxes, it comes out cheaper than Chicago. So I haven't gone there for a while.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. They've lost a ton of my business. So I don't know what the deal with that is.
Like I said, though, I'm sure a bunch of other channels posted videos of look at what you can get for $100 a year or two. And I think maybe people caught on and they stopped doing it.
I don't know, but they can't be making more money now than they were back then with the number of people that probably left them. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's probably not the best business decision. Okay, so got a message here from James Stork I want to read. If the damn thing would let me scroll down. There we go. So he says, I think Buck's slip joints are very hit or miss. Either loose blades that wobble, gaps, or weak springs on many of them. I finally found a good one, but it takes time. It does take time. And all the time that you have to have the opportunity to look at them, you've got to have the cooperation of the dealer. I know Smokey, they probably kind of have they probably have some sort of, I don't know this to be necessarily 100% accurate, but it probably depends on the guy that you run into when you're buying them. But they're probably not going to let you look at just every knife because they don't want to have to open them up unvirginize that wrapper that they come, the wrapped tissue and everything. This stuff. And then you can tell kind of when they've been opened. They don't look quite the same. They have a few little more extra wrinkles in the paper than you wouldn't have had when you've rewrapped it back up in there. But, they probably only let you look at limited number. When we went to the Texas Blade Show, they only let us look at 3 as a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It probably would have been more beneficial had we gone separately to purchase and not all as a group when I look back on it. So we'll know that for next time. You go, get what you're wanting, let them put them all back away. Hopefully you can tell me something about the ones they put back and I can somehow avoid those. But basically it's like once you've gone, you've looked at 3. There was probably at least one you didn't like, one you were probably meh on, and then one you liked, right? If the 3. If you put those away, the next guy that comes along has 2, much less opportunity to get a better one because you've already 2 shots down because the other guy said no to those 2. So you know how it goes. It's just like, oh, come on. Let's get fresh product to look at. They won't do that. They're not going to do that.
Well, and that's another good thing about the Rough Rider packaging. You can just go like this. It's not wrapped all in that paper and plastic. So
what is that box? I've not seen that before.
Oh, it's the tuxedo that trapper came in.
All right, let's take a look at that. That was pretty cool. Let me see.
Yeah, it opens up different too. It opens like this.
Okay, yeah, I hadn't seen that before. What does that say? 30th on there, and then on the inside of the flap. Oh, always handmade. There you go.
Here we go to box stuff again.
All right. Well, how much more did you have to pay for the box? Because the last time they did that trick.
Oh, yeah. No, it was pretty much about the same price as the normal Rough Riders. I mean, the series was a little bit more pricey, but not as much as the Pandora Swirl. And I just really like that the Trapper has a really cool razor with a finger choil.
Did you ever buy any of the black, what the hell were they called? Black, the ones that were modeled, the box was modeled after that tequila bottle.
Oh, yeah, the Black Reserve. Or no,
Black Reserve. There we go.
Yeah, the Rough Rider Reserve series, not the oh no, wait. Black Reserve series.
Black Reserve series. Yeah.
So
I got a box. I'll go grab the box. You show something real quick, and I'll go grab the box.
It's like Don Juan. This is the Barlow I got. So very simple. I really like the titanium coated blades on these. I know we're supposed to be bashing case right now, but let's show it. Let's show a halfway decent knife that you can get for $16, $17. They don't have the stamp on the front bolster anymore. They have double threading, very simple, no shield, like a Barlow shouldn't have a shield, but came very sharp.
Nice
blade grind. I haven't bought a Rough Rider in a while. After the Black Appaloosa series, I haven't seen anything I've liked. I know a lot of people don't like black coated blades, but I like these are like a mirror chrome, a black chrome kind of PVD, like Case's PVD coating, which I have one of those. And lucky me, this one turned out amazing because they were $125. But very similar coating.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Don Juan Black Reserves.
Can you see me behind the box?
Those things are huge.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and those were really pricey. I never got any of those because people were getting them and they're just so stout built. They're just really heavy duty built. I almost got the peanut, but it probably would come in a box that giant too.
Oh, I'm sure they were all the same. Yeah. There you go.
So as far as case quality, I got one that I've never seen this issue with. So like I said, I ordered some more of the honeycomb. Oh, we're looking at the box still. Yeah.
Let me pull myself up.
I think it was Tim School of Fish was saying that box is like copying the Don Juan tequila box.
That's what it is.
And honestly, I don't care about the boxes once the knife's out of it. They just take up more. They take up more space.
I agree. I don't like boxes.
So, there's plenty of things to bash Rough Rider about too.
Yeah.
Don't think we're picking on Case tonight. Don't worry, I'm picking on Case tonight.
It's easier to pallet when you're spending $15 to $20 instead of $80 to $100.
It's not like Rough Rider's perfect or they don't do anything wrong. They just don't do $85 wrong. You know what I mean? They do $25, $35 wrong.
Yeah. And if you have a problem with it, you can reach out to Smoky Mountain and they'll take care of you.
And it's a phone call away to fix it. That's it. Phone call away to fix it.
So my honeycomb mini copper lock. You guys won't be able to see, but it looks really good. It looks really good, except in the long pull here, it's completely rough. They never went in there and smoothed it out or polished it. And this is something I've never seen. Usually the mini copper locks and full-size copper locks have been great. And this one, it does have a burr, which is kind of odd. They usually come really nice. The bone looks good. Centering looks pretty decent. But I was looking at this long pull, and you guys can't see it. It's really rough. And I compared it to my other ones, and my other ones have a polished long pull. And I'm like, wow, it's always got to be something with Case. Something small. It's like they just forgot to do that. And that's so minor. I'm not going to reach out to the warranty department and be like, you need to polish my long pull.
Right.
But I could probably get in there with a Dremel or something, or just whatever. That's a little discouraging. And I know members of the community who used to collect Rosecraft, and they were kind of like, I'm not going to collect Chinese knives anymore. I'm just going to collect American knives. And so they went full on Case knives, and now they're getting some bad Case knives, and they're just like, Andrew, I've had it. I'm done with Case. I'm just done. I just got a bad one. I'm like, well, send it off to warranty. And they're just like, nah, I'm done. And that's what's sad is I don't want to see them losing customers, but that's what's going to happen. Nobody wants to spend that kind of money for subpar cutlery.
Yeah. Positive from what Byron's saying. Their new Crossroads series, which was pretty neat. It's a modern take on it. And I felt like those were pretty affordable for what you got. So I'll give them kudos for that. Absolutely. Affordable Crossroads series, that's 35 in, decent price. So when they first announced those, I figured they'd be at least $100. So I was shocked to find they were only like 75. All right, let me do a little more bashing. Got this one. This was the carbon version of the peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
And I showed an image last week. I don't have it here handy, but there's some scratches, vertical scratches that go along the back end here that are really, really, really not good. I'll see if I can find the image as we go along here. But there's something else I want to take a look at. And I've talked about this on my other show a little bit.
Have you done a video of that knife yet?
I have not yet. No, I intend to, though. But I figured I would bash him tonight before I bash him in my video. This kind of stuff. Now, this is for their upcoming Eddyville event, right? They're going to have 100 of these available. That's just the type of thing that drives me crazy. It's like they're trying to play on your patriotism and shit like that. Come on, man. Enough with the Eagles. Enough with the Jeep knives. Yeah. Enough with the Ford knives. Enough with the Corvette knives. Just make a good-looking handle. I'm done with this stuff. And then, everybody said, well, there's only 100 made. They're reserve them now, $120. This is normally what, like an $85 knife?
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe right at 100 nowadays.
I picked up mine in the 60s, but yeah, they're probably 80 to 100 now for a normal one. And then they do these
limited runs, right? Where it's like, okay, well, it's special. No, it's not. You know why? Because they're just going to turn around and do another 100 made run of something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just do them over and over and over and over and over. And everybody will say, well, Buck does that too. I'm like, yeah, but Buck, when they do a knife like that, generally speaking, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
It's not some freaking, what do they call this? Their color, I don't know what their new coloring system, what they call it.
I can't remember the term for it. It's not supposed to fade.
Yes.
Or anything.
It's something they got from the Zippo.
Yes.
The way that they colored the Zippos.
And the whole Zippo thing, it's as if Case is turning into just more collectibles and not fine cutlery. And that's frustrating also, because I want a good knife.
You know what makes knives collectible? When you make them as well as they used to make them.
Yeah.
You don't need to embellish it to make it more collectible. When you start doing that, they're not collectible anymore.
Yeah. I'm surprised Case hasn't done
collectibles were never intended to be collectibles. The best collectibles were never intended to be collectibles.
Now, if I want something like that style, I'll just get a Zippo with an American flag on it. I don't need to spend $120 for a. But apparently, there's people out there who buy them. Right. But yeah, all these exclusive, from peanut butter and jelly to those to the Sea Dragon, they make only so many, and they up the price, and then you get them, and it's crap quality, and then people are just like. Now, somebody who collects it who doesn't use a knife, they don't care. They put it in a box and they're like, sweet, I got it. They don't care if there's gaps or the blade's rubbing, but
right.
I'm surprised Case hasn't done like a Pokemon series.
Huh.
I mean, if they could get the license, which would probably be pretty expensive, I would never put it past them. Yeah.
They got, like you said, they got Jeep and Chevy and Ford, and I don't have any of those. Zero.
Army and Navy knives. And don't get me wrong. For people that want that kind of stuff, the 5 people that want that stuff, my apologies.
And we'll see them in 4 years at discount, old stock.
But for all those people that have been like, haven't shown anything good tonight, well, be quiet.
Oh.
Thrifty's got you covered. Always. He knows what his audience. Okay.
Yes, he does.
There you go. And Stacy,
What's her name?
Close your eyes, Stacy, for a minute. I don't know. AI.
I just noticed she was holding a knife.
Yeah, I just
didn't even notice that.
Figure that out. Right.
That's dangerous.
But anywho, I don't know. I'm frustrated with them. I really am.
And like I said, a lot of us are. I still buy them. Like I still bought these newer ones.
Yeah.
And my mini trapper that I got, it's actually perfect. Perfect centering, great action. The backside's a little dark. I wouldn't call it brown. You still see some honey in there. But the show side's really nice. And I haven't done videos of these. I just recently got them. Mm-hmm. But if I would have gotten that Sodbuster Jr., I would have been very disappointed. I probably wouldn't have bought any. But I went with a Muskrat, which is a little darker than my other ones. But the fit and finish on this is actually really good. I thought the blades were close together, but I'm not getting any blade rub. 0 gaps. A fantastic muskrat. But, these are $75, $76. They should be perfect. And, I could pull it out here. I'm surprised that I'm not getting any blade rub on this because the blades are really close. I think the only thing I noticed was that the back spring in the open position right here is just a hair open, which doesn't bother me because you see old slip joints after use, it's sunken, so that's not a big deal. But good job on the muskrat. Good job on the mini trapper. My full-size trapper, blade rub. And like I said, this, the long pull, it looks horrible. It's like a Pakistani worked on it.
Pakistan, you're...
I can file my nail.
All of our Pakistan viewers tonight.
I can file my thumbnail in it. It's so rough.
Hey, that's just an extra feature.
Yeah, it's a collectible.
Yeah, it's 1-on-1.
Nail file, mini copper lock. What knife is that again?
I don't know.
What knife?
I think this was an AI generated image. But to answer very six comment, like to see a sodbuster full size and bone. Well, I'd like to see it in anything other than just the synthetics, which they seem to only offer. And so yeah.
Oh, and carbon steel.
Carbon steel is they do. Do they do carbon? Maybe they don't. I don't remember.
I haven't seen a full size in carbon steel in a right good while.
Do they do a full size in carbon?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Okay.
Is it the yellow synthetic?
I don't understand.
No, it's always synthetic. Always synthetic. Yeah.
I don't understand why they don't do a smooth bone Sodbuster Jr. Other companies do it. Yeah. And when they do, I don't understand why they don't do a bird's eye pivot on their bone ones. But Marbles does it, and it works fine.
Byron says TK hit the nail on the head which is why I think he was talking about when I said, the best collectibles were not never meant to be collectible, which is why the big case collectors only focus on pre-2010 knives. That's it.
Yeah. I can't remember Gunslinger's cutoff year, but it was something like that. He wouldn't buy anything after 2012 or anything like that.
So you recalled him saying that too. That wasn't just okay. He must have mentioned that on RJ's live sometime or something.
I think his cutoff used to be 2020. And honestly, Zippo allocated them in 1992.
92.
But I believe that they still had the good crew working on them for years.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the crew. What you said, you went on to Case's website.
Oh, yeah. So I was like, hey, I want to go work for Case. Let's go see if they have any jobs. So you go to the Case website and you click on careers and they show you what's available. And there were multiple positions in the factory because a lot of the older guys have retired. Mm-hmm. There's a few other positions that weren't factory. Of course, I live nowhere near there. I'm on the other side of the country. But if they were over here, I mean, I'd get a job at $17, $18 an hour, hafting knives. And then maybe I could talk to management. At least I'm into cutlery. I think they're, hiring kids out of high school now and training them how to do it. And like I said, the paintbrush turned out great. I don't know who worked on this. Somebody did a great job on this. And I assumed, wow, those kids finally got it down. They're looking good. And then you still get a few bad ones.
Let's see the paintbrush again.
Yeah, I'll even show you the blade centering here. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yep.
And the back spring for the bones, amazing. It actually came with a tip. It's not rounded off. And there's no burr, and it's actually sharp. And I was like, wow, well, if this is how it's going to be, yeah. This is how it's... And the Barlows they've been doing really good with. But if this is how it's going to be, I'm really excited for Case. And then I go get my honeycomb, which was produced a month later, and then the blades are like that. Other than that, it's a good knife. So I may have to send this back. Like I said, no blade rub on that clip. It is stainless. I may be able to center that clip point blade and center it myself because it's not carbon steel. It won't break on me. But I mean, we shouldn't have to do that. But I understand they produce hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of knives, but maybe they shouldn't concentrate on all those,
Collectible knives.
collectible knives. Yeah, they're just pumping them out. It's not a lighter or Zippo that you're, like, oh, whatever, it works. I don't know. They've lost something, and it's very frustrating. And I want to see it come back. I really don't want it to go so downhill that they sell to some Chinese company. That would be absolutely horrible. Or maybe it'd be better for the company. Maybe we'd actually get some good case knives if it was sold to a Chinese company. But none of us here really want to see that because there's not that many really good USA-made knife companies around anymore.
So what I want to say about this is, how about making more of your patterns in this? Just the most basic brown
I'd buy
jigging.
that.
And doesn't even have to have, the mirror polished blades.
Nope.
Stamp them. Don't mirror polish
Yeah.
them. Have a basic line that you could be really affordable. People could get introduced to your product. Now, the first one I bought of this, it looked like a pair, you could look through them like there were so many gaps. You could have used it to look at the solar eclipse. All right.
And you shouldn't have that on a peanut.
No, not at all. And this one, the replacement was much better. But I had to send that one back, and I believe I got that one on Amazon, so just let them deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, Amazon's pretty much the devil, so between dealing with Case or Amazon, I figured let Amazon take the hit, right?
Yeah.
Those peanuts are really expensive, too. I mean, those are the more affordable ones in the brown Delrin, but that's still a almost $50 peanut. And I can go out and get a Queen City in black pearl with 0 gaps for $10.
Yeah.
And this is better than any Case peanut I have, which is unfortunate.
The Zippo branded one.
Oh, yeah, the single bladed one. I remember that video. That's a really cool one.
Yeah. I remember Jersey was going on and on about getting a hold of the Zippo branded ones. The Zippo, whatever. Thought it would be collectible in the future. And kind of wondering whether that's going to be the case or not, because I'm not sure how high on Zippo people are.
I also thought the same thing, and I was looking for them. But then I realized that they don't have a date stamp on the Zippo ones. Does yours have a date stamp?
On the Zippo?
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, all the Zippo ones don't even have a date stamp, and
no, but they are stamped. They are stamped.
They don't even stamp them anymore, and that's one of the big things I hear about a lot of cases. They're just not going to buy them anymore because the laser engraving rubs off, and
yeah, it does rub off.
What's the point in having a family heirloom that you can hand down to your children and grandchildren?
What's the point of dating something that's not going to have a date in 4 years of use?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. You got to be able to date. If you care enough about the date, then don't laser etch it on there. Just don't have a date on there, period, at that point.
I mean, my Rough Riders are stamped. My Rosecrafts, they have a laser engraving of the model number, but the Rosecraft is actually stamped on them now.
Yeah.
I remember I just watched your video on the Buck 112 in MagnaCut.
Yes.
And Desert Ironwood today, and you'd mentioned it's frustrating that they don't stamp those. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if the steel's so hard they can't stamp them, or they get them somewhere else so they don't. But the only stamping that Buck does is on their 420. It seems like.
I think they could do it if they do it before the heat treat. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to. Yeah.
They could definitely stamp it. I mean,
it's a cost thing, probably.
Yeah. Because using the higher end steel even before heat treat, it's still gonna wear that stamp out. When they stamp it fat more than 420 will, because 420, let's face it, is crap.
It comes sharp from Buck though.
Yeah,
All right,
for like a
somebody
split
want to help
second.
me with this comment? Here says Jim says I'm waiting on old canning jars to become big bucks.
Mm,
Jim, I haven't seen Jim before. Have you?
I don't know what that means, so help me out. Maybe I
Maybe.
need.
it's talking about the old cannon jars, like the old
Oh,
mason jars.
Yeah, what about them?
Well, he's waiting for them to become very collectible. Like kind of
Oh,
either
not
that or
collectible, but when times change, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
When they become a little more valuable, people
Mm,
are more in
I
demand
see.
and needed.
okay.
I think that's what he's talking about.
I was
Hold on.
assuming he was talking about Buck knives, but no, he's talking about
Cannon jars.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Maybe one day they
Went
might
over
bring us
my
up
head,
a lot
brother.
of money.
Thanks for the explanation.
Yeah.
Recently got a mini trapper in yellow synthetic carbon steel that was spot on. Love it when that
Oh,
happens.
really?
Love it when it happens.
What I want to know is, did somebody like force him to buy that trapper? Because who would buy that?
Oh, calm down now, Chris. Don't be nice. Be nice. Everybody's got their taste.
I'm not.
I
I'm
have,
not
I
going
have,
to be nice.
I have one yellow Delrin
Oh, he
case.
says Jim says you were talking about the Zippo knives. So there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So the old cannon jars become Buck branded. Right. I got you. Like Zippo. I
They're
got
pretty cool. I really like all the single bladed trappers that the Zippo did.
Oh,
all right.
And Case only does a few, like the one Chris got, and it turned out horrible. But
yeah.
I Jersey Knife Guy collected a bunch of those Zippo single bladed trappers, and I'm wondering why Case doesn't do those in clip point.
One should not be able to use a case knife for a funnel. What's the joke? Gaps belong to shopping
Gaps.
malls, subways, and Saturday night jeans. Now, Byron, all was true, but then you had to say that last bit.
Saturday night jeans. Okay.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to give him a demonstration because I remember when I showed that Antonini knife on Sunday, and everybody kept talking about how my fifth pocket would never fit that. I went and just randomly put on my jeans today and put it in there, and it goes all the way to the top. So I don't know what jeans y'all are wearing. Would they only have like a depth of that much for their fifth pocket? What is the depth of your fifth pocket?
About like that.
Yeah, that's about right.
Depends on my pants.
Depends on the pants. Maybe different cut for different
Levi's
cut.
are really small.
Well, that's what I was wearing. Was Levi's. So it must be the style of Levi's, huh?
Could
I'll
be.
I'll put peanuts in my fifth pocket Levi's.
Your pants are already got the peanuts down low.
The peanuts. But my other pants, my fifth pocket is huge. I can throw like a full size trapper in there and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I gotta get. As long as it's narrow, I can get it in there, no problem.
So here's an example of basically a Baron sign, but it's queen. And I don't know if you can bring me up, but the back springs are pretty perfect. There we go.
Nice.
0 gaps. And then the blade centering is absolutely perfect. Now, Case Barlow's are really nice fit and finish, but here's a real stag, genuine stag queen, and they're about $70.
Now, do you feel like that's,
$10.95 carbon steel.
Baron Sun Plus, basically?
Yeah.
They haven't changed the shield design. You're not even getting any. It's the same jigging that they use to put those shields in. It's round. It's. You know what I mean? They're not doing anything a whole lot different.
Not too much different, but I tend to like the queens. I collect more queen Barlows than I do Baron Sun Barlows. But yeah, it's a round shield.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for some
you
reason,
think they go a little. They take the extra mile quality control wise.
I think so, and I wonder if that's just pressure from Smoky Mountain, or they just have gotten better. I noticed the Baron Sons have gotten better.
Maybe just all around better, not necessarily queen better.
But yeah, I mean, a real stag Barlow for the price of a normal case Barlow. Now, if Case was a stag Barlow, it would be like $120 or something.
Which is why I don't understand people complain about the Rosecraft knives being because they're Chinese made. Well, what are you getting in? What are you getting in the end, right?
Yeah. And my fingers crossed that Rosecraft's going to be able to hold up.
We're going to get a Chinese knife tonight. I'm going to get destroyed now.
I love that one, and I have the blue one and the bourbon bone, and I love orange bone. But for some reason, that stag works so well with that Barlow.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see the Otter Creek in stag coming out, less than a week. I think it's Friday.
Fantastic.
And they're about almost $80, $70 something dollars. So about the same price as a case, but the quality is much better. A different building method for sure. And obviously they don't produce
a little more handmade, you would say.
What's that?
A little more handmade from Case, or a little more handmade from Berenson?
I'd say about the same. I just think Berenson doesn't produce as much that they can pay more attention to detail.
Right. No. They don't have a conveyor belt where the other one's hitting them in the hand before they're done with the one before.
Yeah. But Berenson has been doing a lot with the brass washers on their new, bigger Barlows. But the smaller ones, like this Queen, they don't have. This is more of a traditional build.
All right.
I mean, you can.
Here's a question for you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Now it's hypothetical, obviously. I'm just fooling. But I'm TK, so I like to play around. You take on the job as the hafting guy, go get paid peanuts. Get some insider information on what the.
If I was living in Pennsylvania, I probably would.
Go to Bradford. We'll pay your way. TK will have to come up with the funds to pay your way to Bradford.
I'll grow a mustache so they don't recognize me as Baxter's blade.
Right. Yeah.
Stephen of Sanctified Leather sent them a knife that he got one of those peanut butter and jellies. The 1095 was horrible, and he was like trying to sell it, and then he sent it back for a warranty, and then was asking them, "Oh, you know about Baxter's blades?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, he sent us a knife. It's here now. We'll expedite your order like his." And I'm like, "Oh no." They know about me, which is good. I don't know if they know about me because I've sent them only 2 knives, or if they actually watch videos.
You're already on the radar.
I hope so. I mean, I only
have to go super incognito now.
Yeah, I'm probably on their ban list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody know a what do you call that? Makeup artist. We need a makeup artist with the nose, everything.
Yeah.
For Andrew. Send me an email, thriftykniffy@gmail.com, if you know a makeup artist, please. And we will see what we can do. Sorry, I forgot to read this comment. I've been looking for queens. And Berenson again lately. The one Berenson Barlow I had a terrible edge, so I should give them another try. I mean, their sharpening's never been the most. It's never been buck quality in my opinion, but it's okay. It's a little better than Case, I'd say.
Now it is. It used to be a lot worse.
Byron says, so far I've only had one issue with RZB knife and none with QSP knives. and none of them with the OEM, QSP, TPK, and Jack Wolf knives, obviously. QSP is probably one of the best in the business for quality control, in my imagine. I have yet to try the new Cooper cutlery. I've been meaning to do that as well. I wanted to give them a couple of years to get their feet under them before I invested into them.
The only thing I've seen with Cooper Cutlery is some of their pricing is kind of expensive.
Yeah, their
Yeah,
prices were kind of creeped up.
I
they've
mean,
gotten better, but now they're GEC prices.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is like I remember seeing one, and it was 180, 190 bucks. It used D2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm
Very,
good.
very Sick says Great Eastern Cutlery is a sweatshop. I saw their shop on YouTube. It's old people and they work in school chairs and there's no PPE protection.
Have you ever tried to get old people to wear PPE? It's almost impossible.
Yeah, there
I've
is
been
that.
I've been on many a job sites and been told you need safety glasses. Yeah, I sure do. I'm not cutting anything or drilling anything or like on the floors hanging signs. But I guess I'm an old man who doesn't want to wear PPE.
Incognito tiger. Mm-hmm. We need some of that. We need some of that for you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm the West Coast. I'm just nowhere near them. We have less dealers. I still like them. I just hope they get much better. And I have a hard time seeing people who really like them, and all of a sudden they get a few bad ones, and they're just like, I'm done. I'm done with Case.
Well, can you blame them? Well, it's always that first impression, you know. That's what I mean. How many times have you had a bad first impression and you've just been done with whatever that might be? Whether it be food item or a restaurant or whatever, you just you don't come
never. Back. I started with Rough Rider and Frost and Rosecraft, and I almost didn't collect Case at all because my first one was so bad. It was a synthetic Sodbuster Junior with over 1/4 inch blade play, wasn't pinned properly. Wow. It was unsafe, and I'm like, wow, my first Case. They are crap. Everybody is right. And I sent it back. They refunded my money. I got a Trapper, and it was pretty decent. And then I started to get blade wrap, and I got that from Amazon. So I sent that back and got a better one and told RJ, I'm done. I'm done with Case. I got 2, and they're horrible. He's like, oh, I'll give him another chance. And then I started to get some good luck. So for a moment there, that was my first impression. My first 2 were absolutely really bad.
Yeah, but you can see where that could throw you. I mean, it's not for somebody saying, "Hey, yeah, give it another chance." That might have been it. That might have been it. He wouldn't even have had one more bottle, one more beer. We'd have missed out on all of that.
Well, see, that's the thing about it. Here's the funny part: is I'm very critical of Case, but my first Case experience was very positive. Because it was a mini copper lock, if I remember correctly. It was a gift for Christmas one year from a friend. It was flawless. I carried it for quite a few years until it was stolen from me. But, I had good experiences. It's all positive with that knife. I love that knife. Still want to replace it one of these days.
Well, we're going to wrap it up. But I just want to say, this is my favorite Case Sodbuster. Love it. Went to Blade Show, Texas, bought it, got to see it in person, knew what it was getting. They can do it right. It's just about 1-2. It's about changing the perspective they have of collectors, true collectors, not the Jeep buying Sodbusters and Eagles and that stuff. Grandmas that buy them for daddy, and kindergartners that buy them for grandpa.
Yeah, no crayon.
We're talking about the true diehards that have been with you and your company, right? And you need to refocus your attention on those people, not be so worried about all this ancillary stuff that really means nothing. Like I said before, I'll say it one more time because I think this is kind of the whole perspective the Case needs to change. Don't make collectible knives. Make quality knives. If you do that, they'll be collectible. You won't have to worry about the rest. It'll take care of itself. So, for Thrifty Kniffy, I'm John. Chris, thank you for coming along. Andrew,
Appreciate you having me.
any final thoughts, sir?
I think I said it all. I mean, if they don't get their act together, I'll go back to collecting Rough Riders, I guess. But Rough Rider has its own issues. That's a whole other topic.
It's up to you, Case, to keep Andrew. It's up to
I
you,
mean,
buddy.
I have more case knives than any other manufacturer now, so
Right.
which blows my mind because, like I said, my first couple were just horrendous.
Yeah.
So they can do good, and you are correct. If they just make really good quality knives, they won't have to worry about it. I feel sorry for all the people in Australia or Canada who spend extremely higher prices than we do here in the States, and they get them and they can't send them back.
Yeah,
do
UK as
anything.
well. Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming in. We're at our stopping point. I want to kind of keep the show at 1:15. That's kind of the goal. Thank you again for everybody that came in and all your comments. I really appreciate it. Special thank you to Stacy. She says, "Good night, fellas. Thanks for the company and the insights. We thank you for coming in." One last comment from Byron. We will always have Sheila in the corner.
It's going to be a regular.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Have a good night.
Later.